Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Friday's VC Workshop. Glad to have you with us. My name is Ashley Jones. I'm the Managing Director of Community Programs at the Venture Center. And today's VC Workshop is all about simple marketing tools for solo entrepreneurs. Now, while that is the title, I'm sure these tools that you're going to learn about today are applicable across the board. But again, excited to have you all with us. Before I turn it over to the VC team to do today's workshop, I do have a couple of announcements and things to go over. I want to first thank our sponsors of all of our community programs: Frost PLLC, Simmons Bank, Wright Lindsay Jennings, Little Rock Regional Chamber, and Mainstream Technologies. They've been supporting all of our efforts as far as community programs are concerned. We're really appreciative to their support and how often they participate as well. Upcoming programs, we host a number of programs throughout the year. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of some of those that are coming up. On April 13th, we have a lunch and learn from noon to 1. That is with Reskill Arkansas. You can learn about this new initiative here in the state and what all that entails. Again, that's April 13th. April 16th, we have a Lift the Rock presenting Dr. Lillian West and Eddie Mraz with the ASB TDC from noon to 1. So you'll learn about her entrepreneurial journey and how the ASB TDC has helped her along that path. And then also on April 27th, we have a workshop with Simmons Bank on future-proofing your business. That's from noon to 1 as well. All of those events and all the upcoming events you can register for through our website, our newsletter, e-blasts, however you find out about the Venture Center, you can register through those apps. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mimi and Becky and Molly. Go ahead and introduce yourself first, and then I'll let you dive right into your presentation.
Okay, so hi, I'm Mimi San Pedro. I am the Venture Center's Chief Strategy Officer. Becky?
Hey, I'm Becky Pittman. I'm the Venture Center's Director of Communications and Brand Engagement. Molly?
And I'm Molly Mitchell. I'm Marketing Manager at the Venture Center. Take it away, Mimi.
All right, I think we're ready. So today, we are the Venture Center Communications and Strategy team, but today we are 3 entrepreneurs at the Bushy Tail Coffee Shop. Woo! So what we're gonna do is we have some simple tips and tools for you. You don't have to write everything down because we're gonna have a blog following this that will have our slides and some of the tips and all the tools that we're gonna go through today. But one of the things that we wanted to do is start from the very beginning. So let me share my screen, Becky. Thank you. There you go. Okay, so Bushy Tail Coffee. So we opened this coffee shop back in January 2020, and you see what happened. And, we closed it down in March and slowly opening up again. But what we wanted to do is make sure that we get we acquire all the momentum that we set back in January when people were so excited about our coffee shop, and, recoup some of the things that we have, all the customers that we have acquired, and double our, our customers base, and get everybody back in, in our coffee shop. So the first thing you need to do when you have a marketing need is you have to write it down. Be focused, make sure you have a plan, write your thoughts down, go through strategically your thought process, and be focused. And what we're saying is the first thing you need to do is write a marketing plan. Now, we have written a marketing plan for the entire year of 2020. We had to pivot a lot during the 2020. Now that people are slowly going back downtown, we said, we really need to take advantage of the situation and, see if we can, again, get the momentum that we have established back in January when we opened, and get everybody back in our store. So the first thing you need to do is talk about the situation. So Bushy Tail Coffee launched in January, like I talked about. The 3 of us, the entrepreneurs, that would be me, Becky, and Molly. We opened it because we had this passion for exceedingly strong coffee, right? And we love connecting downtown community. So first of all, you have to put down like, what is the situation? Where are you today? And what are you trying to do? The next thing we need to do is, what is the goal of your marketing program right now, right? So your goal is to acquire new bushy tail coffee audience and increase our existing customer base by 50% through a consistent and coordinated marketing campaign. So, the things that we have to do is like, who is the target, right? So you have to be specific about some of this stuff that you're doing, because you have to really concentrate and focus and be thoughtful about what you're trying to do and who you're trying to connect with and who your audience is and who you're going to be talking to. So we said our target audience is coffee drinkers in downtown Little Rock, professionals needing a fun place to meet with clients and prospect, vendors and friends. So now
Mimi?
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mimi. I think you got the wrong screen part shared. We're sharing the wrong. We need to share that other document.
Sorry.
That's okay.
This one. Do you see this?
Close. No.
Nope.
Nope.
Now?
Yep.
Okay.
This is our marketing plan. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. And we didn't actually practice this. So now it's time to talk about like, what are some of the strategies and what are some of the tactics that, that you will, that some of the ideas that you have, and how are you going to double your audience, and how do you get your existing back on? So I'm just going to go through sorry. So I'm going to go through a couple of the strategies that we kind of talked about. The first one is, now this is a Google Doc. We have it shared between the two other partners. So as we go through this, Becky and Molly will kind of correct my formatting. So the first strategy is grow the bushy tail coffee audience through digital marketing tools. Write your objective. The goal, double customers reach by creating an arsenal of digital marketing tools. And what are the different tactics? Meaning, what are the things that you have to do to achieve that goal? The next strategy that we had was design an exciting promotion that will get customers back in the coffee shop, purchasing and consuming our products. So the objective there again is double the frequency of visit with existing customers and introduce the bushy tail to new customers. So we came up with maybe something like buy one, get one free promotion on Tuesday. Bring a friend. Another strategy that we thought about is, how do we establish loyal bushy tail fans? The goal again is to create a community like we talked about that will serve as brand ambassadors for us. And how do we do that? We're going to gather email addresses for future promotion, maybe some special VIP offers, and get some images and videos of the customers, being at our establishment. Then, what about taking advantage of the downtown foot traffic and car traffic, and have a strategy that talks about see and be seen. Take advantage of the downtown building foot traffic to promote the cafe. Maybe design creative for posters, table tents, the digital TV monitors in the tech park, even a sandwich board. So, and then lastly, as we go through this, one of the most important part when you're going through a marketing campaign is to schedule the deliverables and schedule deliverables and schedule your measurement tools. So the point of trying to go through this is making sure that you have your thoughts in writing. Make sure you go through it with your partners, and make sure that you have your strategy, your objectives, and your tactics clearly written down. You have to focus on that. You have to start with writing down, what you're trying to do, what the goals are, and some of the tactics. And what we talked about was maybe since people are coming back downtown, is start a campaign from on May the 1st and run it all the way to August the 31st. Now, the next thing you have to do, now that you have your marketing plan, write it all down, think about it, look at it again, make sure you have all your thoughts in place. And then now it's time to do some creative work, right? So the first thing you have to do is write down a creative brief, because a creative brief basically talks about like, how are you going to communicate it? What are your images going to be like? What's the tone? What is the the when, where, and how? All of that needs to be written down before you just launch into creating your campaign. So what is the brand essence of Bushy Tail? Again, make sure that you're not just talking about the coffee, but what makes you different? What will be attractive when it comes to your establishment? In Bushy Tail, we talked about like Bushy Tail coffee is the seen and be seen place. It's the place to be. Carrying a Bushy Tail coffee is a symbol of success and coolness. Oh yeah, by the way, the coffee products are good. So we're looking for what is it that's going to make Bushy Tail successful, and what about that brand that's different from everybody else? It's not just coffee products. It's not just that we have good coffee. It is giving them the reason and the attachment to the brand that will make them come over and over again. So let's see. So the next thing is the objective, right? And I think we've talked about the objective, and there are 3 things that we talked about in the marketing plan, and we'll go over that again, which is grow the Bushy Tail coffee audience through digital marketing tools, design an exciting promotion that will get customers back over and over purchasing our products, and then of course establish a very loyal Bushy Tail clientele. And who are the target audience? Again, you got to be specific. You have to understand and visualize your audience, because you want to make sure that when you create all your creative assets, that you're talking specifically to them. So coffee drinkers in downtown Little Rock, professionals needing a fun place to meet with clients, prospect vendors and friends, and a coffee coolness wannabe, right? So again, make sure that you are understanding not only the brand essence, but talking to your target audience. You already know what the date of the promotion is. It's May the 1st to end of August. And who are make sure that you list your competition. To us, the competition is Starbucks on their way to work and other local coffee shops downtown, like Community Bakery, 221 and Blue Sail. So you have to understand, and because you're always being a student about what your competitor is doing. So let's talk about the promotion. So I kind of talked a little bit about what we thought about, and what if we have a Bushy Tail Tuesday from May to August? So every Tuesday you come and you buy one, get one free for your guests. Again, it's back to the original objective, which is grow your customers in the frequency of their visit. The tone is important when you're writing, and again about imagery. So tone is exciting, inviting, social butterfly, busy downtowner, weekend visitors. You kind of want to make sure, because you're always referring to this creative brief when you are creating your creative asset. And then what's the application? Social media, table tents, flyers, blogs, emails. So making sure that you have written down all the things that you're thinking about, all the things that makes this brand and your coffee shop different. And now you're ready to go, and you are now ready to start creating and communicating to your audience.
All right, so that's where I come in. All right, so I gotta get my screen share. Ooh. Can y'all see the right screen?
We see it.
Okay. All right, so creating content. everything that Mimi went over with our case study of our entirely made up coffee shop, which kind of came to us in a spark of creativity earlier in the week. Everything that she just talked about helped set us on the path and also get us in the right mindset, right? We're in the mindset of, we're speaking the busy downtowner language. We're speaking coffee coolness, all of that stuff. We know how we want everyone to feel whenever they read our stuff and whenever they see our imagery on social and that kind of thing, or when they visit our website. So, as a solo entrepreneur, you're wearing a lot of hats. That means you're also going to be a marketer. Now, if you're a solo marketer, you're going to have to wear a whole lot of hats again. You're going to have to know how to do some graphics. You're going to have to know how to write content. You don't have to be a professional designer, and you don't have to be a professional writer to do these things and to do them well if you have the right tools. So why is all this important? Well, because you control your brand message, and this is how. Because you're creating the content, you're setting the tone, you're leading the conversation about your business, you're leading the conversation about what it means to be a coffee cool downtowner, going to bushy tail, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every day, and this is how you control that conversation. So handle on the basics. A lot of people, okay, so it's graphics. The basics for content creation are essentially creating graphics, creating written content, and then video. Video is not nearly as daunting as you may think it is, which Molly will break down a little bit later. But also, before we delve into this, I just want to say that, a lot of people think, I'm not creative, I can't do this. Well, you are creative. You're an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner. You have to be creative every second of every day to solve any number of problems that come up. So with that, you're creative. Let's dive right in. The first thing that we'll talk about is design. Some people want to create their campaigns by designing content, pictures, and that kind of thing. It gives them inspiration. They want to start there. Other people want to start with writing. For our purposes, we're going to start with design. So Molly, take it away.
All right. And I do want to emphasize that pro designers, writers, analytics people have value and are worth hiring and paying. But for these purposes, we're talking to entrepreneurs and small businesses that have small staff and budgets. And so this is about how to get there to the point where you can hire the pros. So to that end, you're going to need images. You're going to need images for your website, for your social media, your advertising. And the good news is that you don't have to learn Photoshop. That's really good news. There are tons of tools that can help you do it quickly, and that's going to look good. So you're going to need imagery. You're going to need some original imagery of your business, your product, whatever it is. But stock photos are going to help you a lot and save a lot of money and time. So my favorite stock photo resource is Unsplash, unsplash.com. It's free. There's no copyright weirdness. You can use the photos for anything and edit them and whatever. And they're lovely. The downside of the free part is that there's not as much variety. And if you want to get really specific, you may not find what you're looking for as much as if you had a subscription to Big Stock or something like that. But I've been using it forever, and I can almost always find something that is going to work. So for bushy tail coffee, the good thing is that getting photography of coffee and young professional types is super easy. So in the example of bushy tail, we can lean on stock photography a lot. Okay, so once you have your photos, you're going to need to do some design. This slide right here is an example of an Instagram post, and I used Canva to create it. So Canva is a drag and drop design tool. You can use it in your browser. Uh, there's a free version that you can do a lot with. At the Venture Center, I use it every day. And we do use the paid version, and it's for sure worth it. You can do a lot on the free version. And there are templates for everything. Every marketing thing that you need to do, there's a ton of templates for. So in this example for Bushy Tail, I found a coffee template for an Instagram post, and I just changed the colors to our brand colors, threw the Bushy Tail logo on there, and changed the text to be relevant to what we're talking about, which is our bring a friend, get free coffee promotion. And it was really fast and user-friendly and easy. So this can save you a ton of time and a ton of money. The other tool I want to mention is Spark, Adobe Spark, which is super similar to Canva, and something to try out. I prefer Canva. I just find it more user-friendly, but it's totally up to your preference. So now that you've got some photos, you've got your design tools, Becky is going to talk to us about writing.
All right, thank you, Molly. Molly is fantastic at design and at making things look wonderful. So while these tools are super user-friendly and easy, she does a great job. So just want to give her a little shout out there. All right, so for writing, where does writing fit into all of this? Well, it's going to fit in on your website. It's going to fit in on social. It's going to fit in on content promotion. So we are going to be working on Bushy Tail Tuesdays. Get your bushy tails in here. We want people to come in. Whenever they come in, we're going to capture some of their stories. That's going to give us blog content. It'll give us social content. It'll also help, if any media wants to come and explore how coffee shops downtown are doing, once we're kind of over through some of the pandemic stuff, they may come to our website and see some of our content. So it's important to have, new content kind of being produced all the time. And while graphics are critical, basic copy and blog writing skills hold the same weight. So what I'm going to go into now is for longer form copy, like blogs and articles, which will help with everything like I just said. Okay, so my favorite tool for creating longer form content is called Temi. And what I have here, this is the back end of Temi. It's Temi, and we've got it linked in our blog. Why do you need this? Well, to create a good blog post, even a 500-word blog post, these things take a significant amount of time if you don't look for ways to make it quick. So because we're entrepreneurs and we're busy and we're also, making coffee and stuff at the same time, I'm going to plan to get my content from people who come in. Ashley and Molly come in for Bushy Tail Tuesdays, and I'm going to interview them really quickly. I'm going to pull out my phone, use the voice memo, and ask a couple of questions. Ask them about, how it feels to be getting back out, how it feels to, be meeting with friends again, that kind of thing. So, and if they're on their way to work and they're looking jazzy, then I'll even record a little video. So that'll give us some video content. But either way, all you have to do with Temi, you record on your phone or whatever device you've got, you upload the file onto Temi, and it transcribes the entire conversation for you in about a minute. Now, if you are trying to sit down and transcribe a conversation, if you're not trained to do that, it is extremely time consuming. It takes forever and it sucks all the joy out of what you're doing. So I have spent too many hours banging my head against the wall doing that. And then I found this handy little tool. But what you'll see is whenever we're interviewing, there are a lot of ums and okay and ands and kind of sentence, just it's spoken, it's not clearly written. So what you have to do from here is, take that copy from Timmy, and then you go to my second favorite tool, which is Grammarly. Grammarly is just another, it's free to a certain point of free, you get a certain number of uses for free, but you put your copy into Grammarly, and it can either be, from Timmy, if that's what you did, or it could be a draft of something that you've written. And what it will do is it'll use AI to sort of analyze the syntax and to make sure that you're on tone, the tone that you want, but it'll also pick up typos and sentence fragments and that kind of thing. So if you're like me, I'm not great at proofreading. So I really need this because it'll catch things that I wouldn't have caught before. And let me tell you, it feels like you have wasted so much time and effort if you go through all of these steps and create wonderful things and there's a big typo on it, and it just, that's the first thing people see is the typo, and then they think that it devalues everything that you've produced. So this is a great tool to help with that, to help fend all of that off. Now, what it does not do is make sure that your thoughts are connected and that kind of thing. So you can't wing it. It's not a tool that lets you just wing it. You've got to read it for comprehension, that kind of thing. But overall, it's a great tool. So it scores you. You can see it kind of scores you on your performance. You can set various goals if you want it to sound businessy, if you want it to sound creative. And then once you go through and make all of your corrections, then it'll score you again, which is this third little box down here. So, you want to keep your brand tone, you want to keep your human sounding tone. So some of the stuff that they suggest to change, you may not want to change. You want it to sound like a person talking. But at any rate, that is a very important tool, and I would not be able to do a whole lot without it. So now we've got writing and graphics. Now we need to talk about videos. So Molly?
Okay, video. So video is an element that is going to be a little more high investment and a little more high reward. It's probably going to take more time, a little bit more of a learning curve to get the hang of it, but you can get a lot of engagement, especially on social media with videos. So my suggestion is to start with what you know, and for a lot of people that will be social media. The video editing tools in Instagram or TikTok are made to be super easy and fun, and so I would start there. And of course, if you make it in a social media, that it becomes super easy to push it out on your business's social media. You can see here, I just took these screenshots of the Instagram Reels and the TikTok video editor as I was working on this presentation. So what I like to do is I find TikTok the easiest and the most fun. So I'll make a video on TikTok and download it to my phone and then disseminate that video on various social channels. If you want, now it's all free, but the catch is that, especially on TikTok videos, they are going to have that TikTok branding on it. So, and the other thing you can do is just make the video like normal on your phone and then use one of these social media tools to edit it and then download it and do whatever you want. If you want a step up, something a little more polished that doesn't have any other branding on it, a little more serious perhaps, if you have Mac and iPhone, iMovie is already on there and it's user-friendly and easy to use. You'll need to watch a tutorial or two to get the hang of it, but it's very easy to make something simple and polished and is maybe more of a centerpiece that you put on your website. And then I have a little screenshot of right here on the right where I've put a filter effect on it. If you are a PC or Android user, I'm sorry, I don't know. If you have any suggestions, I would love to see them in the comments. I did some Googling on that, but I didn't want to suggest anything on here that I haven't personally used. So hopefully we can get our audience to help us out on that one. And if you are looking for ideas for videos or blog or anything, my first suggestion is always to show your work. Do how-tos or guides of what you do best. So in the example of Bushy Tail, we would make videos of making coffee and of our beautiful, latte art or whatever. And since we're focusing on getting people to make in-person connections in our space, we would make videos of that with our customers' permission, but we take, video, photography, whatever, of people enjoying each other in person in our coffee shop. Okay. So now that you have all of your content, your videos, your graphics, your writing, you need to distribute it all and let people see it. So the first thing is you need a website. Can be tempting to think you only need social media because it feels like that's the only way people see you. But you can't control social media. You don't have any control over what Facebook is doing with the algorithms. You could get a really strong following on Vine and then it goes under and Vine doesn't exist anymore and you lose everything. Just last night, Facebook and Instagram just went out for like 30 minutes or an hour worldwide. So if Bushy Tail was only on Facebook and Instagram and we were having an event last night, where would people go? They would, if they couldn't access the social media, they'd go looking for a website. So your website is going to be your core home on the internet, and it's going to have everything everybody needs to know about your business: the who, what, when, where, how. Okay. So for a coffee shop, for Bushy Tail, that's going to be our menu, our hours, whatever promotion we have going on, like the bring a friend thing, get your Bushy Tail back here. COVID, protocol, anything like that. And of course, contact information, a map perhaps of where your physical location is. And it's also going to communicate the look and feel of your brand. And sort of give people an idea of your vibe. So how do you make a website? Well, if you are not really trying to get really into the weeds and you want to put something up fast and simple, and that will be fairly static, you can use Squarespace or Wix. It's really similar to the Canva or Spark situation. They have templates on there. It's pretty user-friendly. You might need to watch a tutorial, but you can do it. And so what I've done here is a Squarespace website for Bushy Tail Coffee. And I picked a template that was already a coffee shop template. They have a ton, and just changed the colors to our brand colors, the photography to communicate the sort of whimsical, fun aspect of it with the foxes and everything. And the copy, the writing to what we want to say. And it was very fast. I did it in less than an hour. And then you're ready to go and you have a website. And everything you put out on the internet will be sourced from the website and will point back to your website. So if you start getting frustrated with Squarespace or Wix, you might kind of run into some barriers if what you need your website to do is more specific. The more specific you need to get with your design or your functionality, you might need to switch or start off on WordPress. WordPress is higher learning curve. You will definitely need to watch some tutorials, but you have the flexibility on a WordPress website, and you can do pretty much anything on there. So WordPress, Wix, Squarespace are my suggestions for getting started on a website. The other thing that the website is going to do is help with your SEO. So you may have heard people throw around SEO a lot. It's one of those sort of scary sounding terms and marketing jargon things that make people feel overwhelmed, but SEO is not overwhelming. If you're just getting started, just remember that it means search engine optimization. And that means when you're creating all of your stuff, especially your website, think about what people are going to be Googling that your business is the answer to. So for Bushy Tail Coffee, people might be Googling downtown Little Rock coffee shop. So I'm going to use the words downtown Little Rock and coffee shop on the website. People might be Googling fun networking space or event venue. So I'm going to use those words on the website. And that's SEO. It's as simple as that. You can go down a whole rabbit hole if you want to, but if you don't want to, it's fine. Just remember that. Okay. So when it comes to social media, if you're trying to do it all on the fly, all day, every day, on a bunch of different platforms, you're going to get lost and overwhelmed and go crazy. So Becky is going to tell us about some scheduling tools to help save you some time.
Thank you, Molly. All right, so we've gone over creating the marketing plan. We've gone over creating a creative brief, how to create various content. As Molly said, your website is your hub for all of this. It's home base. It's where everything is going to be stored, but you got to get it out on your channels. So for the purposes of Bushy Tail Coffee, we're going to focus on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And, we've got 3 different channels here, and there's only 3 of us, and we're super busy. So what are we going to do with our content? We need to find a way to automate as much as possible. This does not mean that we're not going to get organic content, real time. If something, some amazing photo opportunity comes up, we're going to grab it and we're going to post it. But we're going to do this to make sure that we have consistency that we need in engaging with our customers. So with this, there are lots of different tools out there. Hootsuite is great. Sprout Social is great. Our favorite is Agorapulse because we're able to tag other people and other businesses on the platform in a way that works for us. And we're also able to listen to the social conversation around our business on the same platform, all in one place. And we're able to schedule out with a customizable way that is really, really helpful. So I just want you to kind of see how it works. If you sign up for Agorapulse, there is a cost. I think it's about $99 a month for like the plan that we have. And it's worth every penny. So we will go in, we'll select the accounts that we want to post on. We'll put our content in here, our written content in here. We can link different pictures over here. And then we have a preview. And here in this preview, you can do lots of different things. You can toggle between your platforms and you can customize your posts to perform better on each platform, because each platform has a little bit of a different algorithm, things that make it run better and further. Whoops. my mouse keeps doing that to me, sorry. The next thing that you can do with that is you can publish, and like I said, you can customize how you publish it. So here I've got it where, republish every 5 days up to 25 times. So once I get it scheduled out, you can see down here in this last little bit, this is how it'll look. And you can go, I've got tons of content coming out and it's great, and I don't have to worry about it. I will caution everybody, or rather I'll share one of my favorite parts of this platform is a day-by-day publishing list. So if something happens in Little Rock or around the world, that would mean that I need to pause my happy coffee posts for a minute. I need to have that kind of built into my mindset that I need to go in and pause my posts, because you really don't want to just push out a bunch of content whenever something, whenever a news cycle is making it such that you need to just be quiet for a minute if there's a tragedy or something like that. So anyway, that's why and how a social publishing platform works. We love them. Very, very helpful. Then once you have all of that done, you want to look at your e-blast list, because your e-blasts are very important tools. So Mimi is the queen of e-blasts. Mimi?
So when Becky said content is king, I always say email addresses is absolute gold. So make sure that you are gathering your customer emails and making sure that you tell them and get them to opt in, because what you're doing when you're gathering your email is their email is actually asking them to make sure that you're okay with with promoting and using that email for promotions. You can use some different tools. Our favorite is MailChimp. There's Constant Contact, but we love MailChimp. It's easy to use. They charge by the number of emails that you have on your email list. So as you grow your email list, the charges, of course, go up. But MailChimp is easy. You can create all your content in email. You can take some of the things that you've created for social media, flow it into MailChimp. It's easy. The two things that I want you to remember is make sure that your subject line is exciting. It's making people open that email, because that's one thing that you have to measure when it comes to your email is the open rate. So make sure that that subject line is compelling and make them open it. And the last thing about email campaign is the call to action. Tell them what you want them to do. Come in, bring this coupon, or come in every Tuesday, bring a friend, tell them exactly what you need to do. Make the subject line exciting, and make your creative communicate, your exciting promotion, and then the call to action, which is bring your friend, come in every Tuesday. Be consistent when it comes to email marketing. Pick every week or every other week, and send out an email blast to your email list, because when it comes to email, it's a push marketing. Now, the social media that Molly was talking about, that is a pull. Basically, what's happening is, you're expecting your customers and prospects to come to your social media. How, the difference between email marketing, why I love email marketing, is actually you're pushing out your promotion and your images to you and your messages to your customer. Again, MailChimp is important. Email marketing is important. Gather your email addresses from your customers and make sure that you are updating your email list on a fairly regular basis, and send out very exciting emails, again, on a consistent basis. Now, we've talked about so many things. Now, what's important now is measurement. We want to make sure that what we're doing is working. Becky?
Yeah, so while measuring is the last thing that we're talking about today, it is the first thing that you're really kind of thinking about whenever you're building your plan. I mean, it's part of the first steps. So, there are a lot of different ways to track your measuring. For us, we are huge Google Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets users. It's super easy for us to collaborate. You can access, your documents, from anywhere, because if you're out of your office and you want to hit something on your phone and add something in, it's easy to do. We just think it's the easiest way. But really what we have over here is just our social measuring. Okay, so everybody's is going to be different. It's mainly about setting everything up on the front end and dedicating time every week to updating your numbers, because you just want to track what you're doing and what the result is, right? You want to make sure that your audience is growing. You want to make sure that your engagement is growing and that kind of thing. You want to be able to share this information with your coworkers. You want to be able to share it with whoever your investors, with whoever needs to see it, with your, if you get big enough to hire a marketing team, your marketing team needs to be able to analyze this stuff. So, mainly it's just setting up any kind of tracking spreadsheet or document that is easy for you to manage. This is one of the first things that you need to do. And it's one of the it's one of the first things you need to do when you're setting up the entire marketing program. And then you just are consistent with filling it in all the way through. In terms of where you're going to pull those numbers from, this is analytics. This is when we get into analytics, and you want to talk about a rabbit hole. You can go down an analytics rabbit hole and stay down there for, I don't know how long, forever. So for what we're talking about today, we're just going to hit on two main ways to look at your analytics. Google Analytics, that's specifically for your website. You have to set it up on your website. It's free. There is a ton of depth to Google Analytics. You can get extremely granular with the information that you're looking at. So that in and of itself can be super overwhelming. So I suggest you just pick one or two metrics that you want to keep track of. Get to know those really well. Here we're looking at the number of users in the past 7 days. We've had 21,000 users and we've had 18,000 new users. Well, that's great. I'm happy with that, because that's over a 50% or we've almost doubled our audience there in a week. So that's very good. Then Agorapulse, each social channel has an analytics or insights tab built in. For us, we're just going to focus on Agorapulse because that's where we can get all of our analytics in one place without having to go between different websites. But again, this can get pretty granular also. So we pretty much keep it top level. We want to make sure that we're seeing growth across all of these levels. And if we're having growth, then we can kind of dig down and look at the posts that did better, and we can do more of those. And if there are posts that perform poorly, we can do less of those, that kind of thing. So that's how you kind of measure, analyze, and pivot. So that is, yes, okay. So that is pretty much it with measuring and tracking. So we've covered a whole lot of information very quickly, lots of different tools for just the basics. And each tool, as we said, it really does have a lot of depth. So, the key whenever you're starting into your marketing efforts, I really feel strongly that, as a person with, I'm not even going to say how many years of marketing experience, that you don't have to be an expert in any of this. I'm not an expert in any of, I'm a communications expert, I guess, but I'm not an expert in Google Analytics or in, whatever else. You have to learn all of this stuff. You have to eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? So a lot of what I have done through the years is exactly what we talked about here. Focus on one or two key elements that I'm looking at and learn from there. This is how you tackle these things. So just don't feel like you have to be an expert at any of it. It all changes all the time, and there are new platforms all the time. It's an ever-changing world, marketing is. So, but it's exciting and fun. So that is my sort of parting wisdom about that. Molly, what do you have in that vein?
Yeah, I would beware of anyone that says they know the secret. Because it is always changing all the time. And everybody's just figuring it out as we go. YouTube is your best friend, is what I would say. You can learn any of this. If you don't know how to do something, just ask YouTube, and there will be lots of people to show you exactly how to do it. And this is a lot. If you're truly a solo entrepreneur who's running your core business and thinking about doing all of this, I would say start out just focusing on one or two of these things and getting comfortable with that, and then going from there. And to help you focus on what you enjoy, because consistency and quality, if you enjoy it, it will be easy to have those results, and it will come through. Yeah, it's better to only be on Facebook and be consistent on it and active than to be on everything and kind of post things every 3 months on each thing. So yeah, that's what I would say. What about you, Mimi?
I have 3 things. So one is, you have a need, you got to have a plan. You got to write your thoughts down. You've got to be strategic. You have a need, write your thoughts down, write a plan. The other one is measure, pivot, measure, enhance, because you need to know how your marketing plans are working. And number 3, we have a mentorship program. You need mentors. We are here at the Venture Center to help. You need mentors. Annalise will put her email contact down on chat, and email here your contact information, and we will give you, we will get you paired with a mentor. I'm a mentor, Becky's a mentor. So we have mentors at the Venture Center to help you with marketing, sales, or anything else you need. So those are the 3 things.
Okay, Annalise put our emails in there. That's really good. I would love to know if anybody would be interested in a deeper dive on any specific thing that we covered, because this is all very high level, or any other questions or comments. What do y'all think?
What are the first marketing needs that any of our entrepreneurs on? Does anybody have want to share what their first marketing need is?
You can unmute yourself and chat.
Yeah, anybody can talk. Well, at Bushytail, our first marketing need, we had to do the logo. We had to make a logo. So that's kind of intimidating on its face if you don't know how to create a logo. So we made our amazing Bushytail logo in Canva.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You can make flyers, ads. I mean, if I can do it, and I'm not the creative people in the group, if I can do it, you can do it.
All right, we've got a question in the chat about target customers. How about target customers? Craig, targeting customers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, what do you think, Becky?
Oh, he said no, not target customers. Not targeting.
No. Okay.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, and that's in our marketing plan. We know who our customers are. We know who we want them. We know who they are. And for this, if we're doing social promotions, then we're gonna target people in our geographic area who are 18 and up and young professionals, right?
I think
So
in when we were already building. So Craig, we wrote a marketing plan for the first like 2 or 3 minutes of the webinar. We wrote a marketing plan addressing, what the objectives are, the target audience, the need, and then we wrote a creative brief before we even started writing content and designing creative.
And it is important to, and that's why it's important to write that stuff down so you can go back to it and remember who your target customers are, because it's very tempting to want to make each thing be all things to all people. And you can't do it and it won't be very effective. And it's also tempting to make something that you like. And, learning to tell the difference between what your customers want and like and what you like is an ongoing thing for sure. So good point.
yep. Did we answer that, Craig? And you can unmute if you want.
Yeah, Becky, I was trying to answer your question. What's the first thing you need? And I was saying that you need to know who your customer is going to be. I saw
Oh,
in front. You don't need a
yes.
logo first, you need a customer. Who are you going after? Right?
Yes. Okay. Well, see, there was a communication breakdown because I didn't realize that.
Once again, I miscommunicated, but I was trying
Not
to.
you. It was more on my end. So yeah, that's wonderful. That's exactly right. And so how do you know who your target audience is? I mean, and that's a whole webinar in and of itself, right?
Is that another question for me?
Well, for anybody. Yeah. I mean, is that something that you guys could see being a big, an offering, is to determine how to figure out who your target audience is and how to get to them?
Sometimes as a mentor, we see a mentee who wants to do something, has passion about it, but it doesn't know where he's going, he or she's going. And so that is very important. You could waste a lot of money and your time and lose your energy behind a project such as this if you don't know what your customer is, who your customer is.
Well, we agree, and and we kind of jump right into the marketing plan and creative brief and all that. But a start of every business is a business plan where you go through customer discovery and write basically what you're trying to what the service you're trying to trying to introduce to the customers. I mean, we have to write all that marketing. I mean, the business plan first before we started the marketing plan. But we skipped the business plan and went right into the marketing plan. So you have a good point there, Craig.
Any other questions or follow-up? As they mentioned earlier on, this was a lot of information, a lot of valuable, informative information, but they have created a blog and the link is there in the chat. And if you missed any part of this or want to refer back to it, you can always go to our Facebook page, and under our video tab on the Venture Center Facebook page, you can see this video and rewatch it, or any of our videos if you find yourself wanting to go down that rabbit hole. You can do that as well. But want to give one last moment for questions before we wrap this up. I'll wrap up if any other questions come through. Thanks again to our lovely ladies at the Venture Center, Mimi San Pedro, Molly Mitchell, and Becky Pittman for their wise words of wisdom. Thanks again to all of you. Big thank you to our sponsors, Frost PLLC, Simmons Bank, Wright Lindsay Jennings, the Little Rock Regional Chamber, and Mainstream Technology. We hope you found this valuable. We hope to see you again at a future upcoming event. If there are no other questions, yes, be sure to sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss out what's all the lovely things that are going on at the Venture Center. And we hope to see you all again soon at a future program. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.